The best team for Game Week 4 is looking spicy. Welcome to the Game Week 4 best team selection. Here I will be doing the best team as I did in my previous week, and then at the end I will showcase to you a differential draft. With both of those drafts you can increase your rank massively, because almost all of the players that are in the best team are kind of differential still. The differential players will be under 10% ownership, so have that in mind. I will be starting from the best team as usual. In goal, I'm opting for Ederson. He has a home fixture against Fulham. In time of recording, he hasn't played against Sheffield United yet, but I believe even if he fails to get a clean sheet against Sheffield United, having him for Game Week 4 against Fulham is going to be a pretty good option. Here I had to choose between him, most probably Areola, because West Ham are playing Luton, and Sanchez from Chelsea, but I've occupied the field with three Chelsea players, and Sanchez was the fourth, so I couldn't go for him. The other players are not having too good of fixtures. Maybe Pickford against Sheffield is an okay fixture, but no one considers Pickford as a good option anymore. Flecken was another shout out for for Brentford against Bournemouth, but you see that I have another defender from Brentford, so Ederson was for me the obvious choice. He is not going to get a lot of save points and bonus points, but a steady clean sheet is what you're looking for. And starting in goal with such an expensive guy is no issue right now, because there are not a lot of expensive people in fantasy right now that are viable options. So you can invest pretty much the highest in goalkeeper's position. I know some of you may consider some other goalkeepers like Leno against Manchester City, but for me Ederson is and still will be the best option coming Game Week 4. As already explained in previous videos, this best team selection is solely for Game Week 4, but you can invest in some of the players going forward if you are not trying to play that game that way, so it's good for both worlds. Here I'm opting for Rico Henry against Bournemouth, Chilwell against Nottingham Forest, and Udogie against Burnley. I will speak for them one by one. Henry against Bournemouth, I believe that they are going to keep a clean sheet. Bournemouth weren't too good against Spurs. They weren't too good against Liverpool. Also against West Ham, they were shaky as well. So I believe a strong defense like Brentford is going to keep a clean sheet against Bournemouth, and especially at home, Rico Henry can get an attacking return as well. So yeah, I mean, Henry is a good fourth option on the bench, so most of the players will have him there. But if you are someone that is attacking only the fixtures that are coming for the current game week, Rico Henry is the best option from Brentford's defense, in my opinion. Next up is Chilwell. I think that Chilwell is playing like a left wing right now. With so many injuries for their frontliners, Chilwell is basically a left wing back / left winger. He had a great opportunity against Luton and he didn't take the shot. I don't know why he didn't take it, but I believe that was a mistake. If he had taken it, it would have been a goal for him, an assist for Jackson, and we would have been on even more points from the Chelsea assets. But Chilwell did okay, a clean sheet against Luton. I believe an attacking return is soon to be happening, and most probably the attacking returns will start from the game against Nottingham Forest. And if he is injury free, he is their captain, so he is going to be starting the game. So Chilwell, a very obvious option. Here in defense, Gusto was another option, but for me Chilwell is just more reliable on that left side of the flank, and he has done it for more years than Gusto, but Gusto is a great option as well if you want to go a little bit differential, but about differentials we will talk in the final section of the video. The third guy here is Udogie. He is having an away game against Burnley. He did pretty good against Bournemouth. He was solid, he was playing well, he gave an assist to Kulusevski's goal. So I believe Udogie is a very good option if you want to invest in that Spurs defense. A lot of good teams played together this game week, like Aston Villa and Newcastle played together, Manchester United and Arsenal played, so Brighton Newcastle. So Liverpool Aston Villa, Brighton Newcastle, and Manchester United Arsenal are playing all against each other. So it's hard to pick a defense from those teams that are not playing that I already mentioned, because those are 6 of the best teams in the Prem. But however, I managed to find 3 suitable defenders, and there were alternatives to them, especially Gusto from Chelsea. As you can see, Estupinian is not in the draft for me. Even though he is as good as anyone is, I don't see him as the best option for Game Week 4. If you are playing game that you want to target solely the game week that is right now happening, you won't be going for a Stupinian even against Newcastle, even though it's away. I believe that Newcastle are going to be very, very solid. So yeah, he is missing from the side. No Manchester United defender, as Luke Shaw is now injured. They did not perform very well against Nottingham Forest and they conceded some goals. So I'm expecting some returns from Arsenal attackers against Manchester United, but I'm expecting some returns from Manchester United attackers against Arsenal. But we'll talk about the attackers in a minute. But yeah, the defenders from Arsenal and from Manchester United are nowhere near to be the perfect solutions for this game week. So they are out of the side. Newcastle are going to have a turn of fixtures after game week 5 especially. But for now, they are staying away from my side. Liverpool is not good enough in defense, especially against Aston Villa. Even though Liverpool may concede against Villa, they will score against Villa. So Villa defenders weren't an option. So yeah, those 3 teams, 4 teams most probably, Manchester City, Chelsea, Brentford and Spurs, for me, are going to keep the clean sheets. I'm hoping in my current draft that Everton are going to finally keep a clean sheet because they faced 2 shots against Fulham and Wolverhampton, and both of them were goals. So yeah, they are not doing well enough in keeping the clean sheet, but they are very, very good with expected goals conceded. I know this statistic doesn't mean a thing when their team is conceding, but if they manage to just lock the defense and don't let at least 1 shot, they will keep the clean sheet. So yeah, I believe that they will be an option from another time. But now, if I could swap Pickford, I would, but it's none of my priorities. But let's keep it for the best team. Ederson in goal, Henry, Chilwell and Doji, in my opinion, the best defenders for game week 4. In midfield, there are a lot of new faces, and a lot of faces that were pretty popular in the first 3 game weeks are gone. I'll go player by player once again. Maddison, after an injury scare from the game against Manchester United, he returned to the side against Bournemouth, and he was far of the best player by far in that game, and he scored a goal. He could have scored even more. He would have assisted some, but yeah, Maddison was great. I believe that against Burnley, I haven't seen Burnley play the second game, only 1 game against Manchester City. They play on Sunday, and this video is recorded on Saturday night, so I cannot speak about Burnley's defensive record and those kind of things, but I believe that Spurs are going to be scoring a lot of goals, and I'm already trying to find a way to fit in Maddison in my side. Raheem Sterling, he played amazingly well against Wootton. I mean, it's Wootton, but Sterling was by far the best player. He scored 2 goals, he assisted the 3rd, he could have scored 2 more. He was so lively, he could have assisted 1 more as well. If Chilwell made the pass to him, it was going to be another goal for Sterling. So yeah, Sterling and Maddison are very high on my watch list right now, because first of all, they have a great fixture in game week 4, and second, they are going to have a good fixture run going forward. I know some of you do not care about the future game weeks, but especially for game week 4, they are playing 2 of the worst sides in the Prem right now, and Sterling is so central in everything that Chelsea are doing attacking-wise right now, so I will be afraid to go without him, because he's going to score a lot of goals, in my opinion, in the next 3 to 4 game weeks, and especially in game week 4. Maddison is another scare for me, but most probably I will be staying clear of him. But if you are trying to build the best team for game week 4, Maddison should be in it. Phil Foden, I have not yet seen him play against, they are playing Sheffield, yeah, but I believe if he is starting, he is a great option here. If he isn't, whoever is starting in the Manchester City lineup, especially a home fixture against an opposition that is conceding goals for fun right now, even though they took a point away from Arsenal, I don't see them as a good defensive side, so Phil Foden can wreak some havoc against Fulham, especially at home. So Phil Foden is staying in the side. He was in the game week 3 best team, and for me there is no change there. Mbumo, even though he did not score against Crystal Palace, a home fixture against Bournemouth is very scary for non-owners. I believe that being on penalties and 90 minutes nailed means a lot of these days in FPL, and of a player of such caliber as Mbumo, I believe he is going to be a very, very good option. I think that Crystal Palace defense is good overall, so I rate them highly, but I don't rate Bournemouth's defense as highly as I'm rating other teams. So I believe against Bournemouth, Mbeumo is going to score at least 1 goal. So if you want to get a 6.5 midfielder in your side, that's the guy, in my opinion, for game week 4. And the final guy here is a little bit of a controversial pick, but it's Jared Bowen. West Ham are right now playing very well attackingly. They're just conceding the game in their half, and on the break they are just relentless. Bowen scored in the first game, he scored in the third game. Right now he is doing very well. He's providing assists, he's creating chances. He is most probably on penalties when Benrahma is off the field, and now when Kudus is coming, and Alvarez, James Ward-Prowse, maybe Prowse is going to be on penalties, we have to see that, but Bowen is one of the candidates to take the penalties. Ward-Prowse is another option for that side, but I believe that Bowen is just more explosive. But if you want a set piece taker in your side, James Ward-Prowse is one of the best options that you can get, and it's basically a 50-50 decision. Whoever you like more, Bowen or James Ward-Prowse, it's up to you, but in my opinion, Bowen is just more electric. As you can see, there are several obvious omissions here. First of all, no Arsenal player, no Manchester United player, no Brighton player, no Liverpool player, and no Villa player here. Okay, Villa and Liverpool, as already explained, they play together, Manchester United and Arsenal as well. And Brighton play Newcastle, and I consider Newcastle being one of the better defenses in the Prem, so I'm not investing in a Brighton attack for game week 4, even though they can score against basically anyone. I believe that fixture against Newcastle is one of the hardest things that you can do right now, and going for a transfer there is going to be a mistake. You can always fit in one of the Arsenal or Manchester United boys if you feel that it's going to be a high scoring game, but I believe players that are playing Burnley, Nottingham Forest, Fulham, Bournemouth and Luton are most probably going to score more points than Arsenal or Manchester United players facing each other, so that's why I'm going without them. Liverpool against Villa, I believe there are going to be goals, but I don't like them still. They need to settle in the midfield and then polish up the attack. We have to see if the 3 new midfielders play together. Who is going to be omitted from the squad? Is going to be Gakpo? Is going to be Jota or Diaz? Is Darwin going to play? Is Salah nailed anymore? We have to see a lot of things in the future game weeks, so I'm right now staying away from the Liverpool attack, even though I feel scared not owning anyone from Liverpool, especially Salah, who is bound to make a big return, but for now there is too less information to focus on, and all of those 5 midfielders have already provided this year, and especially Sterling and Maddison with those great fixtures and their form that they showed in game week 3, I believe are going to be a very big threat for everyone not owning them, so I consider going for at least one of them. I'll have to choose who, but that's going to be for the team selection video. Now let's go and finish up with the forward line, and then we will focus on the differential draft. In attack, I'm opting for 2 very strong forwards. They're poachers basically. Let's discuss them. I cannot say a lot of things about Haaland that you haven't already heard. He is, in my opinion, the best player right now in the Prem, even though his form in the first 2 game weeks is somehow mixed. I believe that against Sheffield he will wreak some havoc, and then against Fulham he will continue his form, because at home he is a different beast, and even though he didn't score against Newcastle, he was looking very scary. And going without him is a no-brainer, even though most probably this week Sterling was the right captain choice when we have seen the Luton game. I believe going against Haaland is suicidal, because whichever time he decides, he can just score a hat-trick and we will be annihilated by the fact that we did not captain him, and the risk wouldn't have been worth it right now, especially because, for example, players that are having a good game week right now are going from top 1.5 million to top 10k right now. So yeah, the margins are so low, and going against Haaland, especially in weeks where he has very good fixtures, it's pretty dangerous, so I'm not playing that game. Jackson, on the other hand, I was pretty disappointed how he looked in the first half against Luton. He was so clunky, he was tripping, he was falling, he was giving passes away, so I was pretty disappointed that I brought him in, but in the second half he adapted to the game. He was more of a passer slash attack assister, sorry. So yeah, that's why I'm focusing on getting Sterling, because with Jackson and Sterling, they're the 2 focal points of their attack. I don't see anyone coming to the side right now. Maybe Mudryk will be back into the side, or someone from the transfer list will join, but I believe Sterling is going to remain their main attacking threat from that speed. They play somehow of a 3-5-2, migrating to 3-4-3, then switching to 4-4-2. It's pretty difficult to watch and nail the formation right now, but I believe Sterling going against weaker oppositions on the break is going to be amazing. Nottingham Forest, an attacking team, don't get me wrong, they attacked pretty well in all of those 3 games, especially on the break. So if Chelsea can attack on the break sometimes as well, Sterling is going to be vital. But Jackson is a very good option as well, and I don't see a better striker right now that you can add to your side. Maybe Wissa, maybe if you fancy Antonio right now, but I believe that a home fixture for Jackson after scoring his first goal, he will be like a new player and he is going to be starting to score more and more goals. And I believe that 11 players are going to be the best for game week 4. Write down in the comment section if you agree with me, or if you have some disagreement. I'll be happy to discuss the best team with you. And now let's go and see some of the differential picks that can boost your rank very highly, and I will even give you an example how they already did in game week 3. Before discussing in depth the differential 11, if you feel that my content is helpful for you and you want to follow me through my FPL journey for this season and want to receive the best advice and tips that I can give you, please subscribe to the channel, give a like to the video, and comment down. As I already mentioned, you'll be helping me a lot against the algorithm, and my goal is to reach 500 subscribers, so please make it possible. Now let's discuss the differential draft. In goal, I am opting for Rob Sanchez. As I already mentioned, I consider him being a good option in my best game week 4 team, but with so many Chelsea players that I want to include, there wasn't enough space for Sanchez, but in the differential draft there is, and with ownership under 5% and with Chelsea conceding far less chances that I was expecting against Luton, Sanchez is going to rack up some clean sheet points, so he is a very solid option to go as differential in goal. In defense, I'm opting for 4 players. You've already seen 2 of them, Odoji and Henry, in my best team for game week 4, and I stay behind my words that they will be very good for game week 4. They are very attacking wingbacks and their team are having easier fixtures, and Henry is just above 6% and Udogie is under 5%. So if you own some of them, it's going to be pretty amazing for your rank, especially if you integrate them both in your side and you can manage to fill them in if they return heavy points. Gusto, we as a FPL community were having some doubts if he is going to be nailed right now. Reece James is injured or Chelsea are trying to revert to some different formation, but right now with so many injured attackers, their only option is to deploy the defenders, and Gusto was very good against Luton. He had a lucky assist for the first goal against Sterling because it was a solo run and he just provided the ball for him, but the second assist was very good, and I believe that a clean sheet is bound for Chelsea. And if you're looking to add some addition to your Chelsea side apart from Chilwell, Gusto is the best second option that you can go for, and with 4.1% ownership, he's going to skyrocket your rank if he returns. Finally, there is a Manchester City defender, so basically the defense is consisting with the same teams that I already discussed in the best team, but the players are a little bit different. Instead of Ederson, I opted for Ruben Dias at 7.5% ownership. If you have the money, you should be going for him because City are having great fixtures and he is their best center back. But there is another option if you don't own any money, but in my opinion, if you do, don't try to save them and just go for Ruben Dias. In midfield, Sterling 5.2%, he's staying from the best team, Bowen as well, under 5%, still staying. The example that I was going to give, great YouTuber FPL Fran did 2 transfers, brought in Gusto and Sterling, and he just destroyed the game week, and he from 1.5 or 3 million, 1.3 million, he's right now in the top 10k, so that was amazing. And Sterling and Gusto are bound to have even more returns with the great fixture run that Chelsea are having. So if you're looking for a differential pick that can lead you to success up until your first wild card, Sterling and Gusto are very great options, especially Sterling because he is in the central position of every attack as already mentioned, and there is no chance that he's not going to get even more returns. He's like a player reborn after Pochettino's taking charge of Chelsea. Bowen, as already explained, you can go for world price here if you feel like, but in my opinion, at 4.7% ownership, Bowen is at great place right now, and he's nailed. He's not going to be rotated. In my opinion, a pretty great pick. Kulusevski is a player that is replacing Richarlison from last week. Richarlison is just not the player to do it for Spurs. Sorry for the Richarlison owners that believed in him since game week 1, but in my opinion, he is behind Kulusevski and Maddison. Kulusevski played pretty badly in the first game week, in the first half of the game, sorry. But after that, he scored a goal, and that's what you expect from your 1.5% owned midfielder. One goal can just skyrocket your rank. And Diaby, even though he's playing Liverpool, I did not have a lot of other options because Maddison, Foden, and other Mbumo popular options like them are pretty popular and they're over 10%, so I had to include another player, and Diaby seems to fit the criteria. He's great. He's playing team that is shaky in defense, which is Liverpool, so I'm expecting a return from him, but he's my least favorite player from the bunch here in midfield. As I already explained, Sterling is my favorite, and up front I'm going for Alvarez, who is remaining in the side from last week's differential 11. I haven't seen him yet play against Sheffield United, but he's under 10% and he is doing very, very well. Wissa was another option, but I was pretty surprised to see that his percentages are now 16% of the game on him, so that's a lot. And I replaced him with Antonio. He is in form right now. They are playing Luton, so a pretty good game in hand for West Ham, and at 2.6% owned, he is going to be doing pretty well. He scored a goal, he gave an assist, but I don't know if it counted as assist. I have to check furthermore, but even without that, he is doing pretty well. I had limited options here because of the great strikers right now like Haaland, Isak, Jackson, Wissa, are all Watkins even are having all over 10% ownership, and the criteria is under 10%. So I believe that this is the best forward line that you can go for. If you agree and if you want to see more of my content, as already explained, help me beat that algorithm. Subscribe to the channel, give it a like, write down a comment section if you agree or if you disagree. If you have another question to ask, I will be happy to answer it. But for now, guys, I'll be heading out. Bye.